I thought it looked like an early season game against two, I think, pretty good basketball teams. The physicality of the game and probably the lack of some offensive rhythm has a lot to do with it being the first game. I thought Chris did. I think he does an outstanding job, and the adjustments they made in the second half to middle ball screen with one of the best players in the country, throwing back to him and basically baiting our ice coverage in the middle of the floor in order to try to get some more movement and open space for them was effective. And we weren't able to counter that, and we lost some of our defensive tenacity that we had in the first half. As far as for us, I was really proud of our guys in terms of their coming out in an environment like this in the first game and with a brand new coaching staff, and not having first time we've really been together in any kind of environment outside of a scrimmage, and really competed. Unfortunately, we weren't able to sustain that during the course of the entire game. Part of that's on us, and a large part of that is Ohio State.
Coach, over here on your right, just how tough is it when you have that 7-point lead going into the break, and then the Buckeyes just come out and start punching you a little bit in the mouth, giving themselves a little momentum? How tough is that when you had a 7-point lead and you guys were feeling it going into the break?
Well, I think it's a top 15 team in the country. That's what you do. You expect that. So, the expectation was they were going to go on and run the second half, and they did. I felt like we were constantly in a 1- and 2-possession game despite the run that went on, including at the end when we had a few steals and we had some threes rim out or potentially different outcome. But you expect that in an environment like this with such a high-level team as Ohio State.
It would have been, when they went up 9, maybe kind of easy for these guys to say we played hard, but they continued to fight. Were you proud of their effort that they responded like that and got it back down to a 2-point game?
Yeah. They're used to fighting. That's what this team does. I told them, it's one of the toughest, more tenacious teams I've been around when they want to do it. Now, we didn't sustain it, and we were undisciplined in the second half. And, undisciplined teams are coached by undisciplined coaches, so we're not going to be undisciplined, okay? So if we're going to be undisciplined, it's going to be an early season undisciplined. We're going to get that fixed. And I just thought we were undisciplined defensively in the second half. And again, large part of that, give Ohio State credit, they put us in some different positions.
How difficult was it to maintain a flow offensively with the amount of fouls that were called tonight?
Yeah, whether it was the fouls or just the early season, it was very difficult to get a flow. And, I knew where we were at offensively. We're not there yet. And, offensive basketball takes time and details, and we now have tape to show that we need to be a little more detailed in practice, a little more attentive to the synergy that it takes to play offensive basketball. And I knew we weren't there yet, so I knew we'd have to win with defensive rebounding.
John, you said yesterday you talked about seeing those little things that told you that they're getting it. Were you able to see some of those things that you saw the progress that these guys are kind of getting into your system?
Not so much into the system, no. Not tonight, I don't think. I'll see it on tape. What I saw was some guys that, know how to win, know how to compete, know how to play hard, and need a better understanding of what we're doing.
How long does that take? Or do you know?
Golly, if I knew, I probably wouldn't do this. I'd get in consulting, and teams would bring me in and have me give them answers. I have no idea. You get some older guys, so it's going to take some time. Our schedule doesn't really allow a whole lot of time.
Now that you've got this first one under your belt, I know you're not an overly emotional guy when it comes to basketball, but being in this facility, having your family here, what was it like coaching the UC Bearcats for the first time?
Oh, it's a great honor. I mean, listen, to walk out in this facility, to get a chance to compete against Ohio State and UC on national TV is it's why you do it. It's why our kids sign at University of Cincinnati, and certainly, I enjoyed leading this program and felt like we were in position to win the game and compete, and weren't able to finish it.
Chris Holtman said yesterday he felt you guys might be better prepared for them than they would be for you because there's more film on some of their guys and how they play. Did Ohio State look like what you thought they might as you studied some of their film from last year? And how did Caleb Wesson maybe look different? Obviously, he got a different body type this year.
Well, I just think this is really hard, these early season games, because, it's funny. I saw Chris's comments with that, and I should have texted him and said, I have no idea what we have either. So we're kind of together on that. And I think every coach will tell you this, and it's true. Every team is different. Every team is new. So the team that they had last year is different than the team they have this year. So to be able to gain a whole lot from that is hard. I think Caleb's taking his game to a whole other level, and he's an unbelievable difficult matchup. He's in a system with a coaching staff that knows how to utilize that talent, and they're going to be a tough out. They're scratching the surface, as I think we are.
I heard a guy behind me say in the crowd, he's just waiting for Jaron Cumberland to take over the game. How much do you want to see him flip that switch and be the leader in offense, or in your system, is it, everyone does their part and it just all falls into place? Or are you waiting for Jaron to break out and own that game?
I think for Jaron, he's just got to get in shape right now. I mean, he just was off for so long. We're still not in the shape we need to be in. Super competitive, super talented, makes the game easier for others, makes the right decision more times than not. Took some tough shots tonight, makes the right decisions more times than not. Just going to have the practice. Practice gets it there, and players don't like to hear that. But the bottom line is the practices will enable you to have success in the games. And, him and I are learning each other right now because it's the first time I've had the opportunity to go on a stage like this and compete with him.
John, speaking yesterday, Coach Holtman wasn't sure if this is something that's going to continue beyond this season, and obviously you weren't there when this was put together. Is this kind of a neat tradition? You guys could start the year off playing each other on a sporadic basis or an annual basis going forward?
I think it's a great rivalry. I think I'd love to play it. I'm not sure we want to do it the first game of the year. I think Chris would probably second that. It's a tough challenge to do it first game of the year.
Vogt picked up 2 fouls early, and you left Jay Sorolla in there for a long time in the first half. How proud of you were the effort he gave without picking up that 4th foul?
I thought it was awesome. I mean, our big guys picked up a lot of fouls early and a lot of fouls late. I thought it was really impressive what Jay was able to do to sustain the effort on an All-American, really put us in position to have a lead. And, the numbers speak for themselves. The bottom line is we can't go 14 for 23 from the free throw line and 4 of 21. But offensive basketball is rhythmic. Okay, it's rhythm, and we're not there yet from a rhythm standpoint. So I thought what Jay brought us was a defensive tenacity and toughness that enabled us to build a lead in the first half, and that's why he's here.
Anything else?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.